Maria was a single mother who lived in a small apartment in the city. Every day was a challenge for her. She woke up early in the morning even before the sun came up. Her daughter, little Emma, was still asleep in the next room, safe and warm. Maria quietly got ready for her day, careful not to wake Emma. Maria worked 2 jobs to pay the bills and to make sure Emma had everything she needed. Money was always tight, but she never complained. She believed that hard work would help her and Emma have a better life someday. Maria dreamed of a time when she wouldn't have to worry about money or where their next meal would come from. Her first job started at 6 in the morning. She worked as a cleaner in an office building. It was not an easy job. She had to sweep floors, wipe windows, and clean the bathrooms. She did it all quickly and carefully, so she would finish on time. Her boss was kind but busy, and Maria knew she had to do her best to keep her job. After the morning cleaning, Maria rushed home to get Emma ready for school. Even though she was tired, she smiled and played with Emma to make her happy. Emma was a bright little girl, full of questions about the world. Maria loved to answer her questions and teach her new things. She wanted Emma to grow up feeling safe and loved, even if things were hard sometimes. Once Emma was ready, Maria walked her to the bus stop. Emma was too young to take the bus alone, so Maria made sure to stay with her until the school bus arrived. After saying goodbye to Emma, Maria hurried to her second job. Her second job was at a small cafe not far from her home. Maria worked as a waitress, serving coffee and food to customers. The work was tiring, and she often stood for many hours without a break. But Maria knew this job helped her pay for food, rent, and Emma's school supplies. She greeted every customer with a smile, even if she felt tired or worried inside. On some days, Maria felt so exhausted that she could barely keep her eyes open. Sometimes she wondered how long she could keep doing all of this. But every time she looked at Emma's happy face, she found the strength to keep going. Emma was her reason for everything. Maria's life was full of challenges. Sometimes, the apartment was cold in winter because she couldn't afford to turn on the heater all day. Sometimes they had to skip buying new clothes or toys. But Maria always made sure Emma had food to eat and a warm bed to sleep in. After her work at the cafe finished in the evening, Maria had to get Emma from her neighbor. Emma's school day was long, and sometimes Maria's jobs made it hard for her to pick Emma up. Thankfully, a kind neighbor helped by watching Emma until Maria could come home. Once they were together again, Maria cooked a simple dinner, and they ate while talking about their day. Emma loved to tell Maria stories about her friends and teachers. Maria listened carefully, proud of her daughter's courage and kindness. But after dinner, Maria often felt very tired. She still had chores to do, washing clothes, cleaning the apartment, and preparing for the next day. Sometimes she wished she could rest more, but she knew she had no time to waste. One day, after a long and tiring week, Maria felt especially worn out. The city bus was crowded when she got on after work. She found a seat near the window but felt the weight of the day on her shoulders. The hum of the bus and the soft voices of other passengers made her eyelids heavy. Slowly, Maria's head started to drop. She was so tired that she didn't notice when a man sitting next to her gently shifted to give her some space. The man looked different from most people she saw during her day. He wore a clean suit and shiny shoes, and he seemed calm and quiet. Maria leaned against his shoulder without thinking. It was a small moment of rest, but it felt comforting after all the hard work. She closed her eyes for a few minutes just to catch her breath. The bus moved slowly through the busy streets, stopping to pick up more passengers along the way. The city was alive with sounds, cars honking, people talking, and the distant noise of construction. Maria still leaned on the man's shoulder, her eyes closed as she tried to get a few more moments of rest. She was very tired, and the comfort of the man's calm presence made her feel safe for the first time in a long while. The man, whose name was Mark, noticed her. He was surprised when he saw the tired mother resting so peacefully after such a long day. Mark was a CEO of a large company, someone who was used to busy meetings, important decisions, and a fast-paced life. But at this moment, sitting quietly on the bus, he felt a soft feeling of kindness toward Maria. Mark didn't want to disturb her. Instead, he adjusted his seat slightly, making sure he wasn't making her uncomfortable. He thought about how hard life must be for her. She looked so exhausted, and yet, in her tired state, she still showed a quiet strength that caught his attention. While Maria rested, Mark's mind wandered. He remembered hearing stories about people struggling to make ends meet, working hard, but barely getting by. It was easy to get caught up in his own busy life and forget about others. But now, sitting next to Maria, he felt a connection. He wanted to help, but he wasn't sure how. He didn't want to seem rude or pushy by asking questions, especially since Maria was clearly very private. The bus stopped again and more people got on. The bus became crowded and the noise level increased. Despite this, Maria remained calm, as if this little rest on the bus was a rare moment of peace in her hectic life. Mark kept glancing at her, wondering about her story. Who was she? What was her life like? What dreams did she have? Maria slowly opened her eyes, surprised to find herself still leaning on the stranger's shoulder. For a moment she felt embarrassed and quickly sat up straight. She apologized softly, saying, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you." Her voice was quiet, tired, but polite. Mark smiled gently and said, "It's okay. You must be very tired. You can rest as long as you need." His kindness surprised Maria. Usually people would have moved away or looked annoyed, but this man was different. His calm and understanding attitude made her feel a little better. As the bus continued its route, Maria and Mark started to talk, quietly. She told him a little about her life, not too much, but enough to share a bit of her struggle and hopes. Mark listened carefully, without interrupting or judging. He could tell she was a strong woman who was doing everything she could for her daughter. Mark shared a little about his life too, but without bragging. He explained that his work was demanding, but that he tried to remember the importance of helping others. Maria appreciated his honesty. She hadn't expected to find such a genuine person on a city bus. They spoke about small things, the city, the weather, and the challenges people face every day. It was a simple conversation, but it felt meaningful. Maria felt like, for the first time in a long time, someone truly cared about her story. The bus was nearing Maria's stop. She felt a mix of emotions. She didn't want the conversation to end, but she knew she had to get off and take care of Emma. Mark noticed her hesitation and quickly reached into his jacket pocket. He took out a small piece of paper and handed it to Maria. On it was his phone number, along with a note. "If you ever want to talk or need help, please call me. I believe in your strength." Maria looked at the paper in surprise. She didn't know what to say at first. Was this really happening? Why was this stranger being so kind to her? She looked up at Mark and smiled shyly. "Thank you," she said softly. "I don't know what to say." Mark smiled back and said, "No need to say anything now. Just remember, you're not alone." Maria got off the bus, feeling a strange mix of hope and uncertainty. That simple act of kindness, that small note, felt like a small light in her dark world. She tucked the paper safely into her bag, thinking about what to do next. That night, after putting Emma to bed, Maria sat at the small kitchen table and looked at the note again. She thought about calling the number, but wasn't sure if she should. What if it was a mistake? What if he didn't really want to help? But something inside her told her to try. Maybe this was the chance she had been waiting for, a way to change her life for the better. She felt nervous, but also hopeful. Maria picked up her phone and dialed the number. When Mark answered, his voice was warm and kind. He listened as Maria explained her situation. He told her about a program his company was running, a scholarship and mentorship opportunity designed to help single parents like her get education and better jobs. Maria couldn't believe it. For years, she had wanted to go back to school, but she never thought it would be possible. Now, this stranger was offering her a real chance. Over the next few days, Mark and Maria spoke often. He helped her fill out the application forms and encouraged her to believe in herself. Maria felt grateful and inspired. She worked hard on the application, hoping this would be the start of something new. This unexpected friendship born from a chance moment on a crowded bus, gave Maria hope that things could get better. She still had many challenges ahead, but she now knew there was someone who believed in her. Mark, too, felt a new sense of purpose. He realized that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can make the biggest difference. What started as a quiet moment on a bus turned into a meaningful connection that neither of them would forget. After Maria sent in her application for the scholarship program, days passed slowly. Every morning she woke up with a mix of hope and worry. She wanted to believe that this chance could change her life, but she was afraid of disappointment. She thought about all the hard work she had done and how much more she still needed to do. Maria's life was never easy, but now, a small spark of hope kept her going. Her days continued to be busy. She still woke up early to prepare Emma for school. She still worked long hours at the 2 jobs that paid the bills. But something inside her had changed. Maria began to dream again, not just about surviving, but about living a better life. She imagined herself going to school, learning new things, and giving Emma a life full of possibilities. One afternoon, after finishing her shift at the cafe, Maria sat on a bench near the bus stop. She looked at the note Mark had given her, the one with his phone number. She thought about calling him to ask about the program and what would happen next. Her hands trembled a little as she finally pressed the buttons to dial. Mark answered on the first ring, his voice warm and patient. "Hello, Maria. How are you today?" Maria felt comforted hearing his voice. She told him she was nervous but eager to learn more about the scholarship and how it worked. Mark explained carefully that the program was designed to help people, just like her, single parents who wanted to improve their lives through education. The company offered classes, mentoring, and sometimes even help with childcare. Maria listened with growing excitement. She asked questions about the classes, the schedule, and what she would need to do. Mark was kind and answered every question, making her feel confident. For the first time in a long time, Maria felt that someone believed in her dreams. Over the next few weeks, Maria worked hard to prepare for the first day of classes. She cleaned the apartment early in the morning before Emma woke up, made simple breakfasts, and arranged childcare with her neighbor for the time she would be at school. Every moment was a challenge, but Maria kept reminding herself why she was doing this. For Emma and for their future. Mark kept checking in with her, offering encouragement and advice. Sometimes when Maria felt overwhelmed, she would call him just to talk. His support gave her strength to keep going even when things got tough. On the first day of class, Maria was nervous but excited. She wore her best clothes, the ones she had saved for special occasions. Emma gave her a big hug and said, "Mom, you're going to do great." Maria smiled and promised to do her best. At school, Maria met other single parents and students who had stories similar to hers. They shared their hopes and fears, and Maria felt like she was part of a community. The teachers were kind and patient, and the classes were interesting. For the first time, Maria enjoyed learning again. The program was not easy. Maria had to study hard, complete assignments, and attend workshops. Sometimes she stayed up late after Emma had fallen asleep reading books and writing papers. It was exhausting, but she knew every effort was worth it. One day, while walking home from class, Maria saw a small park where children played happily. She thought about Emma and smiled. She wanted to give her daughter a life filled with joy and opportunities, not just struggle. Maria promised herself that she would keep working hard no matter what. Mark continued to support Maria throughout her journey. He introduced her to some of his colleagues who offered advice about careers and education. They even helped Maria prepare for interviews and gave her tips on how to improve her resume. Maria was amazed by how much kindness she was receiving. As the months passed, Maria's confidence grew. She started to believe in herself more. She saw her hard work paying off when she received good grades and positive feedback from her teachers. Maria knew that this was just the beginning, but she felt proud of how far she had come. At home, things slowly started to improve too. With the extra knowledge and support, Maria found better job opportunities. She managed to reduce her working hours and spend more quality time with Emma. Their small apartment began to feel warmer and happier. Emma noticed the change in her mother. She saw how Maria smiled more often and seemed less tired. Emma was proud of her mother and wanted to help, too. Sometimes she would bring home drawings or small gifts she made at school, hoping to make Maria smile. One evening after dinner, Maria sat by the window, looking out at the city lights. She thought about the moment on the bus when she had leaned on Mark's shoulder, so tired and unsure of what the future held. Now everything felt different. She had found a new path, a way to build a better life for herself and Emma. Maria knew there would still be challenges ahead. Life was never easy, and she would have to keep working hard. But now she had hope, and that hope made all the difference. She picked up her phone and sent a quick message to Mark. "Thank you for believing in me. You have changed my life." Mark replied quickly, "You did all the hard work. I'm just glad to help." "Keep going, Maria. The best is yet to come." Maria smiled as she put her phone down. She felt grateful for the kindness of a stranger on a bus and for the strength she found inside herself. Her journey was far from over, but she was ready for whatever came next. After months of hard work and study, Maria's life began to change in ways she had never imagined. The scholarship program, the classes, and the support from Mark and his team gave her more than just knowledge. They gave her confidence and hope. Maria started to believe that she could create a better future for herself and Emma. One afternoon, Maria received a message from Mark, inviting her to a special event organized by his company. It was a gathering for people in the scholarship program, where they could meet the staff, mentors, and other students. Maria was nervous but excited. This event felt like a big step forward, a chance to show how much she had grown, and to meet new people who could help her on her journey. On the day of the event, Maria dressed carefully in the clothes she had saved for important occasions. Emma helped her pick out a bright scarf, and Maria smiled, feeling proud. When they arrived at the company's building, Maria was amazed by the tall glass walls and shiny floors. It was very different from her small apartment, and she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. At the event, Maria met many people who were kind and encouraging. She listened to stories from other single parents who were working hard to improve their lives. Some were going back to school like her. Others were starting new jobs or learning new skills. Maria realized she was not alone, and that many people faced similar challenges and hopes. Mark introduced Maria to several company leaders and mentors. They praised her determination and progress. One mentor, named Sarah, offered to help Maria with her career planning. Sarah explained that the company often helps scholarship students find internships and job placements. Maria felt grateful and hopeful. She could see a clear path ahead, a way to build a stable and meaningful career. Over the next weeks, Maria worked with Sarah and Mark to prepare for an internship opportunity. She attended extra workshops to learn about office work and communication skills. Even though it was difficult, Maria was determined to succeed. She knew this could open doors to a better job and a steady income. Emma noticed how busy her mother was, but also how happy she seemed. Maria tried to balance her studies, internship, and time with Emma carefully. She wanted her daughter to feel loved and supported, even during the busiest days. Sometimes Emma would draw pictures of their small family and give them to Maria as a reminder that they were a team. Maria's internship began at a local company connected to Mark's business. She worked in the office, learning new skills and meeting new people. At first, she was shy and unsure, but the friendly atmosphere helped her grow more confident. Her co-workers were patient and supportive, offering advice and encouragement. One day during a meeting, Maria had an idea that helped solve a problem the team was facing. She nervously shared her thoughts, and everyone listened carefully. Her idea worked well, and her manager praised her for her creativity and attention to detail. Maria felt proud and more sure of herself than ever before. As the internship continued, Maria's hard work did not go unnoticed. Mark and Sarah both told her that she was doing an excellent job. They encouraged her to think about applying for a permanent position once the internship ended. Maria's heart raced with excitement and a little fear. A real job with steady income and benefits was something she had dreamed about for years. At home, Maria and Emma celebrated the good news together. They cooked a simple meal and talked about their hopes for the future. Emma said, "Mom, you're my hero." Maria smiled, feeling grateful for her daughter's love and support. One evening, Maria sat down to write a letter to Mark. She wanted to thank him for all the help and kindness he had shown her. She wrote about her journey, the struggles, the hope, and the progress she had made. Maria knew she still had a long way to go, but she felt ready to face whatever challenges came next. Mark read the letter carefully. He was moved by Maria's words and proud of her achievements. He knew that this was only the beginning for her, and he promised to continue supporting her however he could. The day finally came when Maria finished her internship. She waited nervously to hear if she would be offered a permanent job. When Mark called to tell her the good news, Maria felt tears of joy. She had worked so hard, and now she had a chance to build a better life. With the new job, Maria was able to rent a nicer apartment for herself and Emma. The place had more space, and Emma had a small room just for her. Maria felt proud and hopeful as she watched her daughter play and grow. Life was still not perfect. There were challenges to face every day. But Maria no longer felt alone or hopeless. She had the skills, support, and courage to keep moving forward. The chance meeting on the bus, which once seemed so small and simple, had changed her life forever. Maria looked at Emma one evening and whispered, "We made it, little one. We're going to be okay." Emma smiled and hugged her mother tightly. Together they faced the future, full of hope and promise. Maria's life had changed so much since that day on the bus when she had fallen asleep on a stranger's shoulder. Now, as she sat in her new apartment, she felt a calm happiness she had never known before. The journey had been long and difficult, but the challenges had made her stronger. Her new job was steady and rewarding. Maria worked in an office where she was respected and valued. Every morning, she woke up with a sense of purpose. She knew that her hard work was building a better future for Emma and herself. The stress and exhaustion she once felt had not disappeared completely, but they were different now, replaced by hope and determination. Emma was growing fast. She was excited about school, making friends, and learning new things. Maria made sure to spend quality time with her daughter, helping with homework, playing games, and reading stories before bedtime. Emma's laughter filled the apartment, bringing joy to Maria's heart. One evening, after Emma was asleep, Maria sat quietly with a cup of tea. She thought about the past, the struggles of being a single mom, the long hours working 2 jobs, and the many moments she had felt like giving up. But she also thought about the kindness of a stranger on a bus, the support from Mark, and the opportunities that had come her way. Maria realized that life was full of surprises. Sometimes help comes when you least expect it, and a small act of kindness can change everything. She felt grateful not only for the help she had received, but for the strength she found within herself. One weekend, Mark invited Maria and Emma to visit his company's headquarters. It was a special event where families of scholarship students could come and learn more about the company's work and meet the people who had supported them. Maria was nervous but happy to accept the invitation. At the event, Maria saw many familiar faces, other students, their families, and the mentors who had helped them. There were smiles and hugs, stories shared about success and hope. Emma ran around happily, playing with other children, while Maria talked with Mark and his team. Mark introduced Maria to some important people in the company. He told them about her hard work, her progress, and her determination. Maria felt proud but also a little shy. She had come a long way from the tired woman on the bus. During the event, Mark took Maria aside and said, "You've done an amazing job. I'm proud of you. Your story reminds me why we do this, to help people like you find their strength and change their lives." Maria smiled and replied, "I couldn't have done it without your kindness and support. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself." Mark shook his head gently. "You believed in your daughter, and that gave you the strength. I just helped you see it." After the event, Maria and Emma went home feeling hopeful and inspired. Maria knew the future still held challenges, but she was ready. She wanted to help others too, just like Mark had helped her. Maria began volunteering at a local community center, sharing her story and encouraging other single parents to believe in themselves. She helped organize workshops about job skills and education, hoping to make a difference in her neighborhood. Her journey had taught her that no matter how hard life gets, there is always a way forward. Sometimes it takes courage to ask for help or to accept kindness, but that can open doors to a new life. Maria looked at Emma one morning and said, "You are my greatest gift. I promise to keep working hard so you can have every chance to follow your dreams." Emma smiled brightly and hugged her mother. "And I promise to work hard too, Mom. We'll do this together." Years passed, and Maria's life continued to improve. She completed her education and found a better job that allowed her to provide for Emma comfortably. They moved to a nicer neighborhood, where Emma had more space to play and learn. Maria never forgot the day on the bus or the man who had shown her kindness. She kept his number saved in her phone as a reminder that small acts can have big impacts. Sometimes, when life was difficult, Maria would look back on her journey and feel proud. She had faced the hardest moments with courage, never giving up. And now she had a life filled with hope, love, and new possibilities. Maria's story is one of strength, hope, and the power of kindness. It shows that even in the darkest times, there can be light. Sometimes all it takes is a little help from a stranger and the courage to believe in yourself.